13, so that's 23, right?
Okay, got 1
sure.
plus 12 equals 30. You said the 12th, right?
January 12th.
All right, that's 13.
13.
And you said 1949?
1949.
Yeah.
So that's 19, 1, and 9. 10.
Wait. 19...
49. 1 and 9 is 10, and 4 and 9 is 13.
So you put the 19 there, okay.
Okay, so
that's another...
It adds up to 23.
Yep.
And then you add the 13 to that.
All right, so that comes out to 36.
36, and then you add the two numbers together, 3 and 6. It always reduces to a single digit.
So it's 9.
So it's 9. So this person, this fictional person, is born with the number 9 governing their life. And the idea is that this person is, the number 9 represents the universe. It incorporates all the other numbers. If you add very factually, very scientifically, if you add the number 9 to another number, it will come up with the number that you have added, reduced to a single digit. So if you add 1 to 9, that's 10, which reduces to 1. You add 2 to 9, that's 11, which reduces to 2. So if you sort of follow my drift, that any number you add to 9 will have that value. So what they say about 9 is it's kind of like the idea of the symbol of infinity. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's a number that encompasses all the other numbers. And each number has a value like that. And there are many different philosophies attached to the numbers. But I think particularly this number 4 and Easter, which is what the base of the pyramid, the 4 sides, the 4 Gospels, the 4 elements, earth, fire, air, and water. You'll find in most belief systems the number 4 is a very important one because we have to incarnate into matter. And, then we struggle to try to understand the nature of the body and the duality that we feel.
I'm a number 4.
Are you?
Yes. All right, John, we're going to get to you in 30 seconds. Back with Mary Michele. We have an open line at 241-1310.
Hello. This is Reverend Reginald L. Hudson, founder and CEO of the Mount Kisco Community Patrol Association. Along with the Mount Kisco Police Department SET Team and Bicycle Patrol, we have been able to eliminate some of the negative elements in our community, such as public drinking, illegal drug use, and other negative elements. We cordially invite you to become a part of our patrol by calling 241-7151. Remember, together we can make a difference.
All right, let's get back to the phones. John's been waiting patiently from Yorktown. Date of birth is January 6, 1941. John, you're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Hi.
Do you have a particular question?
Yes, I was wondering about my employment opportunities this year. I've been out of work, so.
Has there been anything that's come up since January?
Yes, except it all...
Fell through again?
Well, it all involves relocation, and I'm not ready for that yet, so.
They want you to move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have the Sun in Capricorn, you have the Moon in Taurus, Mercury in Capricorn, Jupiter in Taurus, a lot of planets in Taurus here. The Moon in Taurus, as I said many times, you get what you need. I can't see money being, the Sun in Capricorn and the nature of all these earth planets is that there is a preoccupation with money, with matter, and this is something that, is kind of comes up and up again in your thinking. I mean, I know it's true of most of us, but with the earth signs it is more important. It's about, having a tangible, something very tangible, something in the bank, gold in the ground, tangible things. It's a lucky year for you. What is it that's holding you back from change?
I really don't want to move.
You don't want to move. I think that, is there an emotional tie to the place that you're living?
Not really.
Because the nature is that it is hard to move earth signs, and Taurus is a fixed sign, the Moon in Taurus, and you have other planets in Taurus. I'm not saying that you definitely should move. I'm just saying that the nature of Taurus is that they don't like to move. And if the value of the work that you're being given is something that, is going to enhance not only your financial situation, but how you feel about yourself and the nature of the work. Is it more exciting work to you than the work you've done in the past?
Oh, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah, same work.
It's the same kind of work. Well, is there an opportunity to stay where you are and perhaps find the same kind of work by not having to move?
No.
There isn't. Well, I think perhaps you might really seriously, it's not a bad time. You shouldn't be fearful of moving right now. Wherever you go, it's going to be enhanced throughout the year. You might have a little blip in the summertime where you might not enjoy it, but if you do go, it's definitely going to work.
All righty. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you for calling. Let's get to Kathy, who's been waiting on line 3. Kathy's from Mohegan Lake. Date of birth is March 1st, 1959. Kathy, you're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Kathy.
Hi, Mary.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. March 1st, 59? Did you have a particular question?
Yes, I actually want to know what it looks like for my future this year, actually, in finances and marriage.
Okay. You have the sun in Pisces, as you know. You have the moon in Sagittarius. You have Mercury in Pisces, Venus in Aries. Sorry?
Be honest.
Be honest. Oh no, I'm just thinking. You don't worry. I can't read minds or anything. Mars in Gemini, Jupiter in Sagittarius. You have a Moon-Jupiter conjunction, which is very nice. There is luck around women. You have your inspiration. Your mother probably gave you inspiration of some sort, even though there's a hard angle between the sun and the moon, and she might drive you crazy occasionally. She's quite an inspirational character. What does your mother do? Are you connected to her? Do you see her?
I'm very close to my mother. Very close. Yes.
Yeah. It's been tough the last couple of years. The Sun and Mercury both in Pisces. That even though you work well in confusion, Pisces is a water sign, and a certain amount of chaos is something that they're very happy with. You do well with it, but it's been beyond your control recently. So I think it's going to become more focused. Did you want to change jobs? Is it what?
Well, I'd like to know if there's going to be any employment possibilities for me this year, and whether I'll be married this year, and if finances were going to get better. I'm living with somebody right now that just recently got divorced.
Well, I think that in terms of the work that you do, you're someone that can do two things at once. You're very good at, and you like diversity. You like change. You like, you like to be practical, and you like to be, kind of poetic. And you can do both. And resolving those opposites is important for you. Your life is about that somehow. In terms of the relationship, right now is a good time. For the next 3 weeks is a very good time. There'll be a lot of attraction going on between the two of you and so on. In general, I think, though, there's going to be a little bit of you're going to have to work pretty hard at this relationship over the next 2 years. That doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means that you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have a lot more energy to do that, though, than you have had. So, if you want to make the relationship work, which I can't say or see, you can do it by working hard at it. If you don't, also realize that however you choose to work on a relationship, by ending it or going forward in it, you're going to have to work through it. But you're going to have a lot more energy, and in terms of your business and what it is that you practically do, structure and form and that kind of thing, you're going to have a lot more clarity, starting this spring.
Well, that sounds good.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling. It's 9:46 at WVIP. We're going to get back to the phones in 1 minute. We have one open line at 241-1310. Back with Mary Michele in 1.
Many of us in Westchester County find it hard to believe that we have neighbors who go to bed hungry. But the fact is that more than 130,000 county residents, at least half of them children, do just that because they don't have enough to eat. I'm Lucy Arnez, speaking on behalf of Food Patch, Westchester's food bank. Every day, Food Patch supplies about 5 tons of food to 128 food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other agencies that provide meals to hungry people throughout Westchester. But even that's not enough. The fight against hunger needs your help. You can organize a food drive, get your company to donate products, services, or money to Food Patch, or volunteer your own time or professional services. Every little bit helps, but send your donations right now to Food Patch, 358 Sawmill River Road, Millwood, New York, 10546. For more information, call 914-923-1100. That's 923-1100, and together, we can make Westchester the county where no one goes to bed hungry.
All right, thank you, Lucy. It's now about 13 before 10 o'clock. ABC News at the top of the hour. Let's get back to the phones. Mary Michele is here taking your calls on astrology. Margaret is on line 1. Date of birth, February 10th, 1959, 2/10/59. Good morning, Margaret. You're on with Mary Michele.
Hi, Margaret.
Good morning.
How are you?
Thanks. How are you?
Good. Did you have a particular question?
I was just would like a general reading. I'm kind of concerned about work and my health.
Okay, the sun in Aquarius, the moon in Pisces, Mercury in Aquarius, Venus in Pisces. You have, a moon-Venus conjunction, so this is certainly... Do you work in the beauty? Do you do something with beauty products?
No, I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse. Well, I think when you work with the patients, you ought to make sure that they're in pink rooms so their skin looks better. Because you have an aura of making things beautiful, which I think is a part of, helping people back to health. With this moon Venus, have you been sick for a while?
No, I just been smoking, and I'd like to stop smoking, so I'm concerned about that, and just basically.
Well, this moon-Venus thing, we're coming to the end of this transit of Saturn, that's been going over the moon Venus, and it hasn't made it easy. You probably haven't felt like you look too good, and you just your sense of feminine and creativity and so on has been a little sublimated. This Aquarian energy, with the sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, you have lots of new ideas all the time. You're somebody that likes diversity in the sense of forward thinking. If you can just get past the next week or so, I think that you'll be feeling better, and this ability to stop something, to have the willpower to stop something, is going to get stronger. I think the nature of willpower, though, is, anything that we give up or anything that we change and so on, I think the idea is that you don't want to be too extreme about it. There has to be kind of a moderate quality to it. Do you feel that you're really excessive about your smoking?
No, not at all. One concern is work, because I just switched jobs, and I'm around a lot of strong personalities and a lot of... and sometimes I'm not feeling as if I'm in the right place, being a nurse in this department. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if I should look into different areas.
Well, you're certainly someone that will come up with new ideas about nursing if you do wish to change. The Sun and Mercury in Aquarius, you have a different slant on. It's almost like you could integrate the idea of alternative therapies in with the nursing that you do, or if that doesn't interest you, there might be some technical way you might work with machines with the patients in ways that is forward thinking. It's just there's this last little blip here where it's going to be more difficult, and particularly if there are women at work that are standing in your way, they will get out of the way soon.
Good.
Okay? And just go with it. If you don't enjoy it, change. You will always find work. You're very good at what you do.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Okay.
thank you for
Thanks
calling.
for calling.
Next caller is Meg. Meg is from Katona. Date of birth is November 14th, 1941. Meg, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Hi, Meg.
Good morning, Mary. I just have a general question. I want to know if there's anything good in store for me for this year, financially, romantically, or family-wise.
Okay. 11/14/41. Okay, you were born with the sun in Scorpio, the moon in Virgo. This is a harmonious angle. And the moon in Virgo is getting a good, it's getting a good jolt this year. You're getting lots of attraction to the feminine part of you. You're working well with women. Is your mother alive?
No.
No. Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I do.
Whatever the connection with her that might have seemed a little, conflicting is definitely getting better. Mercury in Scorpio. Venus in Capricorn. Okay, money, did you ask me about money? Did you ask me about money, Meg?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay, Venus in Capricorn. This is very good for money. Right now Venus is in Gemini, so that's not a particularly harmonious angle, but the last 3 weeks would have been pretty good. Are you looking for new kinds of work?
No, I'm quite happy what I'm doing.
You just would like more of it? More money?
Yes.
You need more money. Well, throughout this year, you have a Venus and Saturn in earth signs, Uranus in an earth sign, and the moon. So it's all of these planets are getting harmoniously. There's a good quality helping you. You're able to structure the way that you work better this year. You're able to have a clearer focus. There will be new, unusual ways that money will come into you. It might even be through an inheritance of some sort.
Don't know if I have any rich relatives.
Well, it might not be a lot, but it'll be, what you need for the moment. There isn't an indication that money should be of a problem to you. If there had been problems, it would have been over the last 10 years, but it should be getting better now.
That's good news.
Okay.
I thank you. Do you have a lucky number for me?
What's your birthday? Add the numbers of your birthday up.
Okay.
All right, 11, 14, that's 25. All right, let's do this together, Meg. It's 25. Then 19 is 10, plus 4 and 1 is 5, so that's another 15, right, Mary Michele?
Mm-hmm.
All right, add those two together, you come up with the number 40.
So?
All right, so it would be the number 4.
4. 4 is a good number for you.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for calling. Repeat that for people, because I guess everybody's saying, okay, now we had 2 winners for the big lotto jackpot. There'll be more. But you take the month of your birth.
Yep.
So let's say it's 10.
10.
That's a nice, easy number.
Okay.
18.
Right.
So you add 1 plus 8, come out with 9.
Right.
So that is now
10.
10. Right, because
That's
1 plus 0 is 1.
1.
That's right. This is high math here. All right, so so you've got 10. 19 is 10.
10.
Let's say 45 is 9, so that's 19.
Mm-hmm.
Add 19 and 10, it's 29.
Mm-hmm.
And then add 2 and 9,
Right.
and that's 11.
Right.
But then you had to go back to a single digit, is what you said?
Yeah, always.
So it's 1.
1. No, it's 2.
2. 1 plus 1 is 2.
1 plus 1, I hope, is 2.
1 and 1 are 2. 2 and 2 are 4. 4 and 4 are 8. Yes.
Yeah.
That's from Hans Christian Andersen. You probably didn't know that. Danny Kaye used to sing that song. But these numbers, each of them has, you said 4 is base. I mean, this is getting back to earth.
Right. You have to start with the beginning, right? The number 1 is unity. It's the male principle. It's the beginning, and it's before the idea of duality. It's the essence of spirit, the first universal number. Then the number 2, the feminine comes in, the receptive. It is also the nature of opposition, of duality, how the mind will go back and forth between good and bad and right and wrong and black and white, and the mind will constantly be playing tricks on you, and the duality of that is the number 2. The number 3 we call the number of the child, and really you in a relationship, you have the male and female principle. But really for the relationship to work, there has to be this third component of desire, love, inspiration. You know, you can give it many different names, but it's the third principle that goes into this idea of male and female, because it's not just the two people that make the relationship, it's the connection. So the connection is what the number 3 represents. And it's sometimes called the child, and, you know, it could manifest itself as a child. But before the child, you have to have this component of inspiration, creativity, or love, however you want to see it. Then we come to the number 4, where you're balancing the 3 previous numbers. But you're also recognizing the fact that there are many kinds of dualities, you know, and the cross certainly has, the symbol of the cross has both the material plane, the vertical line, if you would like, of duality, and then more of the esoteric, which, you know, one might call the horizontal line of the cross, and how you're balancing these 4 components all the time in life, you know, to become a part of our to become who we need to be, which is what, you know, really why we're here, and we manifest it in different kinds of works that we do. You know, one of the reasons that Zen priests do so much sweeping and have such perfect looking gardens, and the gravel is all perfectly aligned and so on. It's about it being beautiful, but more than that, it's about it being centered. And the meditation is through this, you know, moving of the gravel and understanding that any work that you do, you know, whether it's arranging flowers or whether it's, you know, working at the stock market or whether it's a doctor or a lawyer or anybody, the component of work is something that grounds you, that enables you to realize this idea of matter and spirit in the life.
I'm sitting here. Michelle, who is calling from Mount Kisco, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to get your call today. Mary Michele will be back tomorrow morning. I want to continue this discussion of numbers. Numbers,
okay, because we have the rest of them, 5 through 9.
Yes, we have to continue that. Never have to worry about whether you could have gotten a better deal elsewhere. That's 1-800-TRY-ABED. That's 1-800-TRY-A-BED, the smart way to buy a mattress. And good morning and welcome to Meet the VIPs. Mary Michele joins us again on this Friday morning, Good Friday. We have an open line at 241-1310. Tell you what, Mary Michele, if it's okay with you, let's say good morning, number 1.
Good morning, Mike.
Okay, and let us talk to Ann, who has been waiting patiently since about 9 o'clock this morning, watching on cable channel 12 over in Mohegan Lake. Date of birth is March 12th, 1960. Ann, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Ann. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Did you have a particular question?
No. I just heard about this today, that you're on the show, and so I thought I'd try it.
Okay. Okay, well, you have the sun in Pisces, as I'm sure you know, and you have the moon in Virgo, Mercury in Pisces, Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, Jupiter is in Capricorn this year, so and it went in January. So throughout this year, there is a feeling of expansion and growth and new beginnings for you. Things come to you. Jupiter is the great benevolent planet, and Capricorn is the sign of material things, you know, dealing in the material world. So if you're, you know, trying to figure out new ways of dealing with money or, you know, real estate or tangible things, it's very beneficial for you this year. You were born at the full moon, you know, with the moon in Virgo, which means that polarity is something that is constant in your life. Pisces, both Pisces and Virgo are dual signs. You know, they're what we call mutable signs. They're usually good at doing 2 or 3 things at once. Certainly the last couple of years with Saturn in Pisces, it's not been an easy time for your will. You know, the implementation of what it is that you would like to do has been a little frustrated, and even though Pisces is good at chaos, it's been more chaotic than probably you know, feel comfortable with. But this changes Sunday. Sunday there's a big shift, Easter Day. The planet Saturn moves on into the sign of Aries, so this will alleviate, and hopefully, you know, you'll be able to create more structure in your life. Does some of this ring true? Is there a particular question, or are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, it's all true what you've said. It's very interesting.
Okay. Well, if you think of something else, call me back next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you for calling, Ann. Let's, we got lots of calls here. Let's go to line 3. Michelle is calling from Mount Kisco, watching on cable channel 12. Her date of birth, you're going to like this because the first one is August 8th, 1960. And then Lori is on line 2, who will follow Michelle. Her date of birth is August 7th, 59. She's from Yorktown Heights. Let's get to Michelle first, though. Michelle, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Michelle, August 8th?
Yes.
1960. Okay. You were born with the sun in Leo, as you know, I'm sure, and the moon in Pisces. So, you know, this thing that I've been going on about with Pisces and Saturn in Pisces and so on, for you it's been very affecting your unconscious, your daily habitual routines, how you perceive women, your mother, if you have children, or just contemporary, friends of yours, that kind of thing. It might have been a little confusing. There's chaos surrounding that, the feminine side of your life. But this is changing on Sunday. There's a big shift. Mercury in Cancer. Are you a mother?
No.
No. Okay, Sun in Leo, Venus in Leo. Well, you're sort of theatrical. You're somebody that's good with the public and probably, relate well to the beauty business. What do you do?
Well, actually, I'm starting a new job on Monday, and I was wondering if you had any insight into that, or I wasn't sure if I could ask that type of question.
Sure, anytime. That's fine. Well, does it relate to your creativity in some way, this job?
Not really. It's insurance. It's employee benefits.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, you are dealing with people, right? You're out there, and are you selling in some capacity?
Office, but it's administrative and customer service, so it is talking to a lot of people.
You have, if there are women in the workplace for you, it's going to be a time of being able to maneuver and work well with women. The planet Venus is in Gemini right now. You have Mars in Gemini, so you're going to understand that dynamic, if that is important to you. Saturn in Capricorn, it's a good year for you to start some new structural kind of thing. You have Saturn in Capricorn. You were born with Saturn in Capricorn. We have Jupiter in Capricorn now, so there's an expansion that's going on in the way that you work. Is this giving you more responsibility, this job?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's very good. And I think you'll feel good about it. There might be a little blip during the summer when Jupiter goes retrograde where it might be more difficult, but certainly in the fall you're going to, feel that you really made the right decision.
Hey, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling, Michelle. Let's get to Lori, who's been waiting patiently. Date of birth is August 7th, 59. Lori, you're watching on cable channel 12 over in Yorktown Heights. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning.
Morning, Michelle.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
August 7th, 59. Okay. Sun in Leo, Moon in Virgo. Mercury in Leo, Venus in Virgo. A lot of Virgo planets here. Are you very analytical?
Not a lot, no.
Well, with all these planets in Virgo, with the Moon in Virgo and Venus in Virgo and Mars in Virgo, you have the ability to be quite grounded and analyze things well and work well with other people. Your mother, the Moon in Virgo is about the mother and how you perceive the mother. So with the Moon in Virgo, you might have seen your mother as being, a very organized person, very structured and so on. Of course, the nature of the Sun in Leo is that they're not really too keen on structure. They want diversity and excitement and flash and color and style. And you also have Mercury there. You were born with Mercury retrograde. So when you were young, when you were very young, until about the age of, 10 or 11, were you told ever that you had trouble expressing yourself, or was it sometimes a little more difficult for you to learn?
No, I was always a very quiet child.
But there was a shift when you were about 11 or 12, where perhaps it might have been easier for you to come out of yourself?
Yeah, I'd say it's true.
Yeah. Well, if there isn't another question,
I was just wondering how the year looks for me.
okay. Well, with all these planets in Virgo, it's about this Jupiter in Capricorn. It's very beneficial, certainly in terms of security. Anything in the material world is very sound for you this year. Saturn, when it moves into Aries, is going to trine your sun, so you're going to have, it's going to be sort of fiery, the kind of structure that you create, but it will nevertheless be, you will be able to do it for yourself. You'll have some control over your life.
And how about I have children?
I think I have to get to the other calls, but if you want to call back, we can talk about your kids next week, perhaps.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, thank you. It's now 9:15 at WVIP. We're going to get to Carol and the others waiting on the line just a couple seconds away.